Hello, friends. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to come to you. Let me be honest with you. September has kind of sucked so far for us, hasn't it? So I'm super glad that I actually have some really positive things that are going on and that I get an opportunity to share with you guys. And I had shared a few days ago that I would be hopping in here live for anybody who was interested in learning about the many projects that are happening right now. You are welcome to join me live if you would like in the StreamYard. The link is right there in the description, or maybe you caught it earlier in the week. If anybody pops in, I promise I won't put your face up there. But if you have questions while I'm talking, I'm more than happy to answer them. You just drop them into the private chat. So for those who don't know, I'm Jerry, and I'm super excited because this month is like the insane month of releases. You can capacity plan your work all you want, but sometimes you can't capacity plan the releases of those works. And this month I have coming my new sci-fi anthology. I have also the special edition of the great novelization I had the opportunity to do with the Good Knack team from Chaotic Great Games. I have some cool stuff to share with you about some horror that I have going on, and an audiobook I've been waiting for so long. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes on each project, and if you have questions, pop them in over there. Hi, how are you? So glad you joined us. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them over into the live chat, and I will happily talk to you about any aspect of any one of these projects. So I'm going to start out with this one, and I've got a story for you about this one. Many of you might recognize the name of my good friend Craig Martell down here. He is just an amazing leader of the independent author community. Like many in this community, I've written on both the traditional side and the independent side. I'm primarily independent these days because of what I feel it does for my career. That is a conversation I'm happy to have with any of you. However, he has this wonderful annual collection called The Expanding Universe, and it's a very positive sci-fi. It's going to be like that space and cosmos and first contacts and colonization in space and exploration. It's not going to be typical of a lot of my sci-fi, which is usually grounded and very hard. Difference answer to the question here in the chat. Hard sci-fi is going to be like based in your real science in some way. Now, don't get me wrong. We get to stretch, we get to play, we get to be a little bit speculative about it. But genuinely, it's got a basis in real science fiction, as opposed to a sci-fantasy. FTL, Faster Than Light, sci-fantasy. You can cross the line between them. And then when you add grounded, if you add that term grounded, it's going to be very character-based and human-based. Often earthbound science fiction is considered grounded fiction. So my sci-fi typically is a grounded hard sci-fi. It's still hard. In fact, I happen to know that FTL is a big no-no. I did it last year. I'll tell you about that story. But it's going to lean a little bit more. It's going to lean away from that earthbound and that grounded for sure. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at the names in this. I can't believe I'm super excited to be in with some of these, like, hello, bestsellers. Hello, you are awesome. And also, hello, my good friend who I also get to write with. We've actually written in like 3 of the things I'm going to be talking about today. So we love collaborating with one another. It's really cool. But I have a story for you. I have an honest, hard truth story for you about The Expanding Universe, Volume 11. I actually tried to be in Volume 10. And for those of you who have followed my career, especially if you've seen me live at shows, good question in the chat. Next show is Gamehole, which is in Madison, Wisconsin in mid-October. I will also be running some games in Lake Geneva at Dragonfall, and I've still got Twin Cities Con this year as well. Feel free to message me about any of those, and I'll make sure I get you the links to those shows. So I have a lot of anthologies. on my table. I have learned that anthologies, particularly in the Midwest, are very popular. People love an anthology because they're short reads. You can read them before bed. And so I've participated in a lot more anthologies. Last year, my goal was to build out my display with more genre fiction because I had my core series and I had my games and I had some things that were sort of fringy. Maybe it was an author's resource, or, I'll carry my kids' books because of the fact that you always have to have something for the kids at these shows, and there's not always a lot there. So I had a display, but it didn't look like most of the genre fiction authors' displays because I had worked through so many genres that I really didn't have a lot of genre fiction on my table. I had, I took out the sports fiction, I took out the nonfiction, I took out the Christian stuff because that's not what was moving at these conventions. And so suddenly my, 100 plus titles were looking really smaller on that table than what I'd really created. So I said, I'm going to participate in anthologies. So I made a goal of participating in a lot of anthologies, and I met that goal last year. And one of them I had attempted to be in was the Expanding Universe Volume 10. And I made the first cut. It was awesome. I was super excited. And then there was, you guys are going to think this is hilarious. There is another author who is in many of the same communities as I am, and we have never met. And his name is Jerry Shepard. And it's Jerry spelled Jerry instead of Jeri. It's a male author. And it's Shepard spelled Shepard instead of Shephed. So it's crazy to sometimes hear somebody talk about a Jerry Shepard, and it's not me. And yet we're in all these same communities together. Well, last year, there's the first cut on getting in the Expanding Universe. And then there's the next cut, like what's the final product? And I got an email from a good friend of mine, and he said, "Oh, congratulations. I saw you made the final cut of the Expanding Universe." I'm like, "What? I didn't even hear yet. That's so awesome." And I go and I look, and it's the other Jerry Shepard. And I found buried in my spam an email where I had gotten the rejection, and it was a short and cold rejection. And being that I know and love and respect the man who runs this, I kind of called him out, and God bless you, Craig. You took my call out. Oh, hi. Thanks for joining. Sorry, waving to more people in the chat as though they're actually seeing me over in the chat there. Again, feel free to toss more specific questions into there if you want as you're joining us. I reached out to Craig after I got that rejection. I said, "Craig, I have received kind of rejections from traditionals." And he came back to me, and he didn't owe me that because honestly, I was being a little bit pissy. I was hurt, and it wasn't a very good response. And he could have just said, "We're done." He could have just that would have been the end of it. He would have recognized my being a little bit petty, and he didn't. Instead, he came back to me. He said, "Listen, this was the actual response." He said, "All of my beta readers said no." He said, "They were adamant. Nobody liked it. This is not your brand. I've seen that you can do better. And this is not the first thing I can put in front of my readers of your work." And when he gave me that response, I recognized the very truthful fact that this was not my best work. It came in a season that was way too over capacity. And as such, I was not able to turn in what is the quality that I want to turn in. So my response was, "You are right. I'm sorry. And thank you for protecting my brand." And I'm so glad that this year I busted my tail. I can't even tell you how many times I did corrections on this. I see some folks joining me on Facebook as well, by the way. Please feel free, if you have questions while I'm with you on this live, to hop into the StreamYard. The link is there on the Facebook description, and you are welcome to hop in there And once you get on the StreamYard, A, I'll see you. Don't worry, you won't be seen by everybody unless I choose to add you to the screen. And B, you can send me messages in the private chat on StreamYard. I won't be able to see those messages on Facebook because I've got my StreamYard right now. So without further ado, the story that I edited so many times, I could probably not even open these pages to share it with you because I wanted it to be perfect when I turned it in. And I was very grateful to truly make the final cut for the Expanding Universe, Volume 11. I'm going to give you just a little preview of my story, which is Intertwined, Intertwined by Jerry Shepard. Bound by memories that aren't their own and amid the violent turbulence of space, the crew of the intergalactic space vessel, Humanity's Hope, boy, don't we need some Humanity's Hope right now, must untangle their identities to begin a new life on Terra Proxima. So that is my story. I'm going to read you just a little bit from the opening scene and tell you then where you can get this first project. Sophia's Solitude. The ship was louder when there was no one else to hear it, when it contrasted with the vacuum of space, when its digital tones and metallic creaks were the first sounds to reach her ears in more than 3 decades. The South American contingent's commanding delegate, Dr. Sofia Alvarez, sent by Earth's coalition to the dual sun-soaked world of Terra Proxima, sat mournfully unmoving. She managed her own post-stasis hygiene, thinking it would help revive her. It didn't. Her chair was angled just enough to keep the nearest stasis chambers in her periphery. Control panel lights washed the room, a lifeless blue that matched her mood. She tried music, hoping it would lift her spirits. The computer selected a song from her residency days, one she'd enjoyed with her colleague Jean Laurent while training at the Antarctic facility. The universe felt immediately cruel. Stop music, she told the computer, before settling back into her stupor with a digital tablet. One chamber sat dark, lifeless, its occupant lost before it opened. Her friend, Jean, gone. He was the only Antarctic contingent representative aboard the ISV Humanity's Hope. The irony twisted bitter in her chest. Jean was meant to be here, not her. He had trained for this. She had shadowed him in the Antarctic facility, followed, but never led. The logs explained the failure, a power surge caused by a solar flare during their travels. It was an interruption they were warned could happen. Nonetheless, survivor's guilt clung to her like the stale, recycled air of the colonial ship. She stared at the remaining pods of the open command deck, hypnotized by the steady pulses of light meant to emulate the circadian nature of the planet they left behind. Several medical chambers remained online in active stasis. 4 of them. She thought there should be only 3 remaining unopened, but Earth's coalition was keen on backups in this of all areas. If no medical officer was brought out of stasis, the crew wouldn't awaken, and they would drift right past Terra Proxima into the unknown universe until a celestial body pulled them into its gravity well like to a likely death. Jean probably insisted on another doctor. That would have been just like him. For now, 4 sleeping medical backups were blissfully unaware of their companion's fate. And then we get into the travels as all of the rest of the crew awaken on Humanity's Hope. Again, my story in this is called Intertwined, and Intertwined is my first ever opportunity to be in the Expanding Universe. You can get this collection edited/curated by Craig Martell, filled with bestsellers and amazing authors that you want to read. It is hundreds of pages of great short stories. You might find your next author that you fall in love with. You might just enjoy these. They're great reads for right before bed. And I'm super excited to be in it. So that's the first of the many projects that I have going for you. So I'm going to tell you a little about the second project. I have been in the Anthology of the Damned series now for some time. It is curated by my friend Christopher D. Schmitz. And I'm going to just go ahead and share with you a little pretty picture here. I'm going to share my screen so that you are able to see what we have going on right now. Anthology of the Damned Twisted Yuletide is a thing that we have happening right now. So look at this, man. We have already reached into our stretch goals. So we're doing really great. Right now, you can back this. I will share the link in the comments one more time, but it is Anthology of the Damned Twisted Yuletide, a creepy Christmas tale. And so these are the classic Anthology of the Damned stories. I am in Library of Madness, which you will see over here. It's this one with the purple in it, right behind to the right of Anthology of the Damned Twisted Yuletide. That one has Whispering Woods, which is kind of a psychological story. I am in the Tome of Terrors with with Siren, which is sort of a jump scare type of scary story. And I am in Necromorium, which you see over here with the Ghost Ship Turnabout. That is like some pulp horror. It's like very like 1950s at sea retro style horror. So I will tell you that I did not think I would necessarily ever be into horror writing, but I had the beautiful opportunity to go ahead and be a part of the team of that Legends of Avantris put together to write, to finish the writing of the folk horror dungeon campaign, The Crooked Moon, last year. And it was a crash course in horror. And so I've kind of been enjoying it ever since. And it's been a very quick success. I am a part of the Horror Writers Association. I've already been accepted into that. Right now, not only can you back this campaign, but I want to show you a couple of other cool things. First of all, when you back, you're going to get all sorts of great gifts. But also, if you back on, if you actually buy from the book from me in person at any of those events that I told you about that I have coming up, you're going to get something that you can only get from me, which is my Cursed Collection. Now, my Cursed Collection is going to carry all 4 of those stories that I told you were in the Anthology of the Damned story, Anthology of the Damned collection, but you will also be able to get The Vampirization of the Human Galileans, which is a sci-fantasy horror. So you're going to get a little sampling of different types of horror across this whole set. And when you get it in person, you can get all 4 of the hardcovers. Somebody is asking why not the last one, the first one, I should say. So which one are they talking about? Oh, you're talking about the original Anthology of the Damned. So that was just a beta work that was done. It was not a work that a lot of the same stories that are in the original Anthology of the Damned collection are the same stories that you're going to find in Library of Madness. That was just beta by the person curating it, just to see how he would put it together. So the 4 official versions, I'm in all 4 of those. So you will get all 4 of those tales plus the vampirization, but some other goodies too. You get a reusable boo bag. I love it. There's like 4 different faces you're going to have. You're going to get a Day of the Dead bookmark. So these are those magnetic bookmarks, and you may have seen that I actually had my page in the Expanding Universe marked with that. And it comes with some bloody handprint tissue, so you can reuse that. The bag itself is reusable. You're getting the Cursed Collection, which is going to be this really nice little hardcover that has other stories. And you're going to get the 4 books that I am in, all of that for only $150. I think it's over a $200 value. So it's a really, really great steal. But let me just read you while you are looking at our pictures here. Actually, let me stop this and let me go back to sharing our picture of the actual Anthology of the Damned series here. And I'm going to just share you just a little bit from my story, The Bells of St. Nicholas in Anthology of the Damned, while you're looking at that. The Bells of St. Nicholas, in a near dystopian future where St. Nicholas reigns with blood and bells, a team of desperate time travelers journeys into the past to unmake a myth. This is a paradoxical thriller, by the way. The last Christmas of St. Nicholas. Long ago, before reindeer became Nicholas's minion monsters, before his bells rang with their call for blood, There was a final Christmas, one last attempt at joy from the one who had served the season for so long. St. Nicholas, immortal steward of the holiday, had walked the earth for centuries. His sleigh once painted joy across the sky, but now cut through clouds like a blade. His sack, which was once filled with wonder, felt heavier each year with disappointment. He had seen countless generations hope and fail to have peace on earth and goodwill toward men. For every child lifted from despair, 1,000 more fell to cruelty, hunger, or worse. And Nicholas had watched what beastly men had made of this holiday. In one city, a fragile truce had been brokered. Songs were sung, bread was broken. Nicholas had blessed the town with snowfall to blanket their feuds. But in the night, true intentions were revealed. Christmas as a trap to lure enemies. They tied red ribbons around the hands of their opposing combatants and looped them around candy cane striped gallows decorated in tinsel and pine boughs. Carols played while people hanged. Nicholas fled that place and never returned. There was joy to be gifted there, but joy had been weaponized, twisted into nooses, and hung like garland. Now, finally, the Council of Immortals had granted his petition to retire. He would lay down the mantle. With their approval, St. Nicholas could select one child in the world to bear the sacred burden, the endless sleigh ride, the immortal heart, and the pulse of Christmas joy that could outshine winter itself. He would bless one child with the bells of St. Nicholas, once gifted to him by the Nicholas before him, and the Nicholas before him received them in the same manner all the way back to the first St. Nicholas gifted the bells by the Council of Immortals. The 6 bells of burden held peace, joy, faith, hope, memory, and immortality. Together, these essences carried Christmas forward in goodness. And that is just a little peek forward into the bells of St. Nicholas. Question in the chat. Yes, the tales in Twisted Yuletide are all Christmas themed, or holiday themed, I should say. And I think primarily Christmas. The rule was holiday themed. The other collections, though, the Necromorium, the Tome of Terror, and the Library of Madness, those are just general horror. Again, you can back those right now on BackerKit. And while we're talking BackerKit, let me go ahead and tell you about the other really cool thing. Again, why does everything have to happen at once? This is just what we're doing. So we're going to share, I'm going to tell you all about Good Knack. Good Knack is so fun. I'm super excited to have been a part of this collection as well. First of all, okay, y'all, I gotta brag because I just think this is the coolest freaking definition that has ever existed of me online. And I would love for all of you to believe this of me, but I just think that whoever it is that wrote this up on this Kickstarter campaign, Cherry Red Shepherd is perhaps the most awesome human ever. I'll take that. And there I am with Ed Greenwood, who is one of the contributors to Good Knack Means War. So essentially, we wrote this novelization of the kind of stronghold protection trading card game Good Knack Means War, or actually Good Knack is just the collection game. And I will tell you, as soon as we had it at Gen Con, we were able to get it. A handful of the authors and editors involved in this work were there. And I can't show you on the screen just how deep the quality of this book goes. Like, this book weighs, I think, more than this book, just to give you an idea. Like, it is a heavy, beautiful gloss paper, really already high quality, really high quality cover. It's a heavy weight. The writers in this, Ed Greenwood, Jerry Hawkins, Eric Scott DeBee, Christopher D. Schmitz, Marie Bilodeau, Brandon O'Brien, myself, John Rowland, edited by Christopher D. Schmitz, Hugo Award winning nominee Jennifer Brosek. I mean, it was an amazing, amazing group of people to work with. We had a ton of fun. The other thing is, just like how in my sci-fi I tend to lean like hard and human and grounded, this was definitely fantasy, not sci-fi, and it forced me to get a little bit humorous. So tons of humor. If you prefer humor in your genre fiction, you're gonna laugh at like stupid humor stuff in this. So fun. Chaotic Great Games, they're the ones who do the actual game, but they had such popularity with it after it released at Gen Con that they put out a special edition as well, which you can also get. I think, oh, here we go. We have it right up here in the corner. Really beautiful, high quality. You can back that. It's actually a partnered backing. So if you back both Goodnack and Anthology of the Damned right now, you get some extra bonus stuff. And some of those might even be some really cool stories. So this is Goodnack. Goodnack means war. And I cannot say enough good stuff about working on this. If you catch me at a show, you get the bundle of the book and the game for a really great deal as well. So super excited about that. So those are some of the things that are coming out. And then last but not least, I've got a couple of things I want to tell you about. One, if you don't know already, that you can get D&D Beyond. That you can get the Crooked Moon on D&D Beyond. Let me just tell you that now. Crooked Moon, here it is. It's on D&D Beyond right now. You can get the full bundle of it for only $70. You guys, I'm waiting. I wanted to show you like my copy. I was so honored to be able to be a part of that whole process and getting to work with the amazing team, Mikey and Derek and Richie and Nikki. All of them were just really wonderful people to work with. If you've been watching them on YouTube and you're just a fan of their work, just know that they're also really amazing people. They're good people. They're really incredibly creative. And it's like I said when I was talking about my kind of new addiction with writing horror and becoming literally within this last year a member of the Horror Writers Association. This project, it's like an intense study in horror. All of the different provinces of Druskenwald kind of have a little different type of horror feel to them. So yes, the whole overall adventure that's written in it is folk horror, but you're going to probably get in this book something that you could play around with for a lifetime, at the very least years. And so if you want to get some of that really gripping horror, regardless of your style of horror, you're going to be able to get it. It's on D&D Beyond now. It's phenomenal. I have a daughter who is a super horror junkie. She goes to all of the horror conventions. She has a horror podcast. She's a little bit of a horror influencer on TikTok. And if what I told her about this, because she's not a gamer like I am, I said, if you just want a good horror book and you don't even want to play it, you can pick this up. So I recommend that if you haven't gotten it yet, yeah, you should get it. You should definitely get it. And last but not least, you guys, I'm so excited to tell you that Sound Booth Theater is actually releasing the audiobook of my first book, At Fault, this month. So it's just over a week. I'm going to be doing a wonderful takeover with my good friend and the creator of the kind of the director of the story is going to be Rebecca Brokaw Sands. She's the lead voice actress, and she also kind of directed the cast on this. The story is coming out through Sound Booth Theater. So I'm encouraging you today, go to soundbooththeater.com. I cannot wait to bring you At Fault, the first in my hard sci-fi series, my core sci-fi series, beginning next week. It releases, oh my gosh, only a week from today. Holy cow. It releases September 19th. We will be with you all day to tell you all about it. For now, If you like Dungeon Crawler Carl, this is that company. This is like the most amazing audiobooks that you are going to get online. So I'm just telling you to check out soundbooththeater.com for now. And you're going to want to be on there and digging around sometime this week so that when we come back to you in a week from now, you're going to be able to get Asphalt in audio by Sound Booth Theater. Super psyched about this. As I promised, I wanted to bring you guys just a little bit of everything. I've got a few more people that are watching live on Facebook, and I want to remind you, I can't necessarily see your comments on Facebook, so please go ahead and hop in as a few others have here in the private chat on the StreamYard. But we are just about to wrap up. So I just kind of want to give you a quick recap of the chaos of releases that are happening this September. One, the Expanding Universe 11, you can get it on Amazon. Two, we've got the Anthology of the Damned collection. It is live on BackerKit right now, specifically with a focus on the Twisted Yuletide. The partner to that on BackerKit is the special edition of Good Knack Means War. Beautiful, great book. It'll make you laugh. Also, if you catch me in person, you'll be able to get the card game and the book as a great bundle deal. And your Anthology of the Damned, remember that also comes in a bundle deal. There it is, my little magnet bookmark, our reusable bag. You're going to get the Cursed collection. You're going to get this. And if you have not had a chance, hop onto soundbooththeater.com. So many great audiobooks on there. They are the best-selling producers of Dungeon Crawler Carl. And next week, 1 week from today, you will be able to get At Fault, the first in my 5-book, hard, grounded sci-fi series with a full cast of audio with music and sound effects. It is amazing. I'm super excited. So that's all. I tried to keep this to 30 minutes. I'm a little over. I'm coming up on 32. So, but I just wanted to say thank you for joining me. Thank you for all of those of you who put some questions into the chat section here on StreamYard. Thank you for those who joined me live on YouTube and live on Facebook. I'm so glad to have you in my world and in my audience. And as always, my little motto and what I hope we can all live by a little bit better these days: